finally. Hello. Welcome, everybody, to Fabric. Yay, I'm so glad you're all here. All right, before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit about this place because it's pretty special. So if you haven't been here before, actually, I'm going to trade mics with you if that's okay. Okay, because I'm going to use the clicker. Okay, here I am. You can hear me still, right? Okay. If you haven't been here before, I want to tell you a little bit about this place because it's pretty special. So, Fabric is a 501c3 nonprofit fashion incubator, a business accelerator, a phygital fashion innovation center, a design studio, an academy, and an on-demand manufacturer that is sustainably disrupting, redefining, and reshoring the fashion industry for brands and modern apparel entrepreneurs. That's a mouthful, but we do a lot, you guys. You got your mic?
Oh, I do have a mic. I don't need yours. So we have, as a 501c3 nonprofit, both a mission and a vision. Our mission is people-focused. We provide apparel entrepreneurs with training, guidance, innovative industry resources to access no minimum and batched on-demand manufacturing so they can build sustainable fashion businesses domestically. In other words, we democratize fashion and level the playing field for all of our designers and creatives. In pursuit of our mission, we have helped over 1,650 apparel entrepreneurs, and we've provided them and the community with
$12.5 million.
in free and discounted programs and services to make their entrepreneurial journey more affordable. Our vision is planet-focused. We aim to establish Arizona as a modern fashion industry capital for the U.S. by creating a tech-based, sustainable, closed-loop fashion industry ecosystem that attracts and supports direct-to-consumer apparel brands. In other words, using technology to innovate sustainable industry solutions for a better tomorrow.
In pursuit of our vision, we produce Eco Fashion Week annually. It's a week-long event that's created to educate the public on sustainable fashion and to celebrate, recognize, and support sustainable fashion brands. Each year, Eco Fashion Week includes sustainable pop-ups, fashion shows, educational panel discussions, and highlights sustainable brands and initiatives. This year, we're excited to add the Canvas Fashion Show to the Eco Fashion Week lineup. Canvas is a new addition to Eco Fashion Week to celebrate a huge accomplishment in Fabric's journey.
She's moving me. Over the past 8 years, Fabric has made strategic moves towards its bigger vision. Many of you may remember when Fabric manufactured 800,000 reusable medical gowns. Boy, we sure do. To help mitigate the PPE shortage during COVID-19. This experience ultimately allowed Fabric to embrace the latest technology and create the nation's first phygital fashion innovation center in this beautiful new building.
Now, if you're sitting in a VIP seat, you've probably just seen the manufacturing demo of the limited edition zero waste VIP gift bags that we printed on dead stock material. This was actually leftover medical material from the COVID-19 pandemic. So you may have a better understanding of some of the print, cut, sew technology that's available to brands of any size. However, there's a lot more technology behind the scenes, yeah, I just said that makes this place so special.
I get the bag, you get the bag, we get the bag, let's get the bag. I get the bag, you get the I live my dreams and you talk, talk, talk. All you ever do is talk. I do the walk, walk, walk. I get the bag around the clock. Yeah. I don't like to judge others, but it's too easy to do. Walk into the coffee shop and everyone.
So you guys in the VIP row have this limited edition bag that you can cherish. We're never going to make any more of them, and you can use them to go grocery shopping and things like that.
You may have seen Angela as Barbie on social media. If you haven't, this is something you really need to do. Using the first Floor Factory to make an outfit out of the VIP invitations.
Hi Barbie, I'm fashion designer Angela Johnson. Get ready with me. Oh my God, that's like a dream come true, you guys. As you can see, anyone can start a fashion business at Fabric. You don't have to be a fashion school graduate or meet high minimums to manufacture tens of thousands of units in like an overseas factory somewhere using unethical labor. At Fabric, apparel entrepreneurs and established brands can access the end-to-end technology that's shaping the future of fashion more sustainably and more ethically. One of those apparel entrepreneurs who's actually utilizing Fabric's resources to start her own brand is independent journalist, Emmy Award-winning news anchor, advocate, and mother of four, Renee Nelson. Renee has just started her apparel entrepreneur journey at Fabric, and she's using Fabric's digital roadmap to guide her through the entire process. We are proud to welcome Renee Nelson as tonight's MC, who will be guiding you through tonight's digital fashion experience. Let's all welcome Renee Nelson to the stage.
Thank you so much. When Angela says, like newly minted fashion entrepreneur, she's not kidding. I usually consider myself the least fashionable person in the room. And when I was in the restroom a little bit earlier, I think I was with the gal with the silver pants, there you are. I'm like, these ladies, wow, they know how to dress. So I am so excited to be here, so happy to be here with you guys. As Angela said, I'm an independent journalist. I'm a mom of four. An advocate, and also a newly minted, like we said, fashion entrepreneur. It sounds so weird to say. I never thought in a million years I would be a part of this industry or this crowd. So thank you so much for the welcome. I am honored to be here among all of you, no matter what's going on in the background, I promise. So I'll tell you, I was introduced to Angela and Fabric when I was with Fox News here in Phoenix, and I was able to interview Angela. I was also able to talk to her about some of the work that Fabric was doing. I also was able to interview some of the fashion entrepreneurs and understand the resource that Fabric was providing to each and every one of them. And what I could tell you is that it was immense. Just watching the things that they were able to access through Fabric's resources, you could tell exactly how invaluable it was for people that were just starting out, that maybe even had more of a background in fashion or an interest in fashion like that. So in order to build a line from beginning to end, Fabric really gives you every single tool imaginable to do so. So when I started thinking about the idea that maybe I could belong in this industry, it was a tough one. But I knew from Angela and I knew from the experience that I had had interviewing people at Fabric that I had these resources right here in the middle of Arizona. And I thought, without these resources, maybe this wouldn't be a thought or a dream. But knowing that it's right here, why not? So that's kind of how I started my journey. I can tell you their program is so unique and so detailed that, I mean, I Google every other word, I will tell you that, because it is completely all new to me. But they really run you through everything you could possibly imagine. So if you're starting as a journalist or as anything and you want to get a fashion line off the ground, Angela has every video imaginable for every single part of the process. You actually feel like you're just talking to her the whole time. So I've been kind of stuck in one of the sections. I've had a lot of other things going on, and so I thought, am I slow? Am I not learning enough? What am I doing? And then my two dear friends here in the front row, we were downstairs, and I was walking them through the factory, and I was like, and this is this, and this is this, and this is why this is important, and this technology is important, and here's the fabric sourcing room, and I'm like, I have learned a lot already. So I was impressed with everything that Fabric does, walking you through every single step of the way. So as a curious journalist, I can tell you that I spent Saturday, several hours, diving into textile waste. I don't know why. I saw it in an article. It took up 4 hours of my day. But I quickly learned exactly how unsustainable fashion industry practices currently are and the impact that they have on the planet. And I learned, you know, my latest top is not so great if I'm thinking about its impact. Neither are my pair of jeans that I just got. Those aren't doing so well either. So when deciding what to wear today, I'm like, okay, I'm hosting a fashion show based on sustainability and reducing waste. I can't just go buy something at the mall. So I stole it. I'm so glad that joke went well. My 14-year-old said it would be good. And I looked at the crowd and I was like, I don't know. I stole it from Sherry, so it's one of her designs, but thank you for providing that. So I really thought, what can I possibly wear? But thank you for laughing. I'll let him know. He'll be thrilled. Let me put everything in perspective, though, because as journalists, that's one thing that you attempt to do anyways. And to fully understand why phygital fashion is so impactful, I'd like to share a few things that you may not know about the fashion industry, and definitely things that I didn't know about the fashion industry. So I learned quickly the negative impact of fashion, like I said, and I learned how environmentally, ethically unsustainable fashion really is. And I mean, look at the crowd. All of us participate in the fashion industry, and we're all wearing clothes. So you can imagine we're all consumers in this industry. And that is, part of the problem. So listen to this. As consumers, we drive those prices down, of course. And also brands, they overproduce to meet those minimums to kind of keep those prices down for us, the consumers that demand it. They do that in overseas factories, to get those prices down. So we know that garment workers aren't exactly paid a living wage. Garment workers in countries like India and Turkey, of course, we've done a lot of stories on that. Unfortunately, a lot of those environmental regulations and laws that do exist are largely ignored. So that's another part of the problem. And what happens is that brands end up with so much excess inventory that inventory ultimately ends up in landfills or also being incinerated. So that's just the model that exists right now. And as a result, the numbers, when you look at kind of the data behind what the fashion industry produces, it's pretty incredible. So each and every year, we can tell you that since the year 2000, the garments that are produced has nearly doubled. It's startling, really. The US, I can tell you, throws away up to 11.3 million tons of textile waste each year. That is, I did the math, 2,150 pieces of clothing every second. I mean, I had to stop and really think about that, because I want to fact check and stuff. I was with Fox, but I'm still fact checking. Thank you. That was my own. But yes, each and every second. And if you can imagine, those are startling numbers. 87% of the total fiber input used in clothing, we can tell you, is incinerated or sent to a landfill. I can also tell you that fashion accounts for up to 10% of global carbon dioxide output. That is more than international flights and shipping combined. So these numbers are from the United Nations. We've also talked a lot lately in the news about microplastics and where those microplastics are coming from. And that's of huge concern. Well, I can tell you, unfortunately, 71% of microplastics found in rivers come from fiber. So the same kind of fibers that go into all of the garments that we're wearing. 35% of microplastics, that is, found in oceans come from fiber as well. So the problem is really startling, and it also makes fibers the largest pollutant of microplastics in the ocean. So I looked this up, and let me see if I get this right. For every 13 people here in the state of Arizona, there is one swimming pool. I mean, I don't think that surprises anyone. There's so many swimming pools. But this might surprise you. It takes an entire swimming pool full of water to make one pair of jeans. One pair of jeans, an entire swimming pool full of water. So as a startup, certainly not a brand story many of us want to tell, not a brand story I want to tell, and not something I want to voluntarily contribute to. So the problem exists in the manufacturing, and Angela's talked about it, and Sherry's talked about it, and it really is that the manufacturing processes and resources are set up this way, and there's just not a lot of motivation to change that. So even today, even when we know better, even though we have the technology to in fact do better, there lacks the motivation always to do better. So not many domestic resources anymore, we can tell you that. Most of the industry hasn't adopted the tech that's readily available, and it would make the processes more efficient, more sustainable, like many other industries. It's really ripe for disruption. So unfortunately, like I said, their motivation just isn't there in this fast fashion model. So what do? Enter Fabric, of course. And Fabric is the nation's first phygital fashion innovation center. It is accessible to both large and small and tiny e-commerce brands selling both wholesale and direct-to-consumer. So Fabric has embraced the very latest technology, you saw it downstairs, to enable the digitally native fashion brands of really any size to meet the needs of today's consumer-driven marketplace. So as an alternative to sublimation printing, I Googled that, on unsustainable materials like polyester, what Fabric does is that Cornet Presto printer downstairs, it can print on nearly any fabric, like this dress I'm wearing. And I can tell you, I'm used to things, printed on fabric, but you can feel it. This you can't feel. It's water-based, I believe, and it makes it so interesting. And it also opens up a world of sustainable possibilities. So if you can imagine now, you can print on any sustainable fabric with these with this printing machine that's located downstairs. You're really changing the way that fabrics are sourced. So at Fabric, that means brands can test the market. They can make and sell personalized, even customized items that then become these kind of unique, batched on-demand products, and it meets that model. Let's take a peek at the process. All right, so you see how it's done, right? Isn't that amazing? Okay, so it's important. The future, basically, of the planet, the health of the planet and the waters rely heavily on changing this process and innovating the outdated and unsustainable practices that exist in the garment industry. So That important technology, of course, as you've seen, is available right here at Fabric. So Phygital Fashion, it's exciting, it's tech-driven, as you've seen, it's ethical, it's eco-conscious of an alternative to that disposable fashion. It enables those digitally native brands of any size to meet needs of today's consumer-driven marketplace. Limited drops of uniquely engineered artwork printed on sustainable materials converts these designs from fast fashion to then collectible heirlooms instead. So in other words, they're able to fill orders as they come in. That means no more excess inventory, no more guessing what to sell and hoping as a designer. Print on sustainable fibers and cut and sew only what's needed, only when it's needed. So you get to say goodbye to that excess inventory and hello to a more sustainable, more responsible, more efficient, and affordable future. All right. Now let's see what happens when apparel entrepreneurs use these resources. I can tell you, I have only been exposed to a fashion show in the pages of W Magazine when I was like a teenager reading it. So I am super, super excited to welcome the first designer up, of course, is Fabric's own Sherry Berry, showcasing her collection, Adea. Take a look.
For this, tripping in the world could be dangerous. Everybody circling as vultures, negative, nepotist. Everybody waiting for the fall of man. Everybody praying for the end of times. Everybody hoping they could be the one. I was born to run, I was born for this. Whip, whip, run me like a racehorse, pull me like a ripcord. Break me down and build me up. I wanna be the slip, slip, word upon your lip, lip. Better that you rip, rip. Break me down and build me up. Whatever it takes. Adrenaline in my veins, I do whatever it takes. 'Cause I love how it feels when I break the chains. Whatever it takes. Yeah, take me to the top, I'm ready for whatever it takes. 'Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. Always had a fear of being typical, looking at my body feeling miserable. Always hanging on to the visual, I wanna be invisible. Looking at my years like I'm out of dumb. Everybody needs to be a part of them. Never be enough from the prodigal son. I was born to run, I was born for this. Whip, whip, run me like a racehorse, pull me like a ripcord. Break me down and build me up. I wanna be the slip, slip, word upon your lip, lip. Better that you rip, rip. Break me down and build me up. Whatever it takes. critical, egotistical. Don't wanna be the parenthetical, hypothetical. Working onto something that I'm proud of. Out of the box, an epoxy to the world and the vision we've lost. I'm an apostrophe. I'm just a symbol to remind you that there's more to see. I'm just a product of the system of catastrophe. And yet a master.
One more round of applause. Of course, Sherry, I have to ask you a question here. As a co-founder of Fabric, tell me a little bit, we talked a little bit about backstage about why Fabric came about. That's such an interesting story. Can you tell us a little bit about why Fabric and why you were one of the co-founders?
I'd be happy to. I think my story is shared by many, many designers. And when I first started my fashion line, and I actually spent a lot of time, like you're doing right now, seeking resources and trying to figure out what to do. But when it got to the point where I went to manufacturing, the manufacturer ended up importing my pattern files, which were in inches, and exporting them in centimeters, and sent a whole order doll size back to me. So I really, it was terrible. I mean, they were doll size. And I thought, well, there has to be a better way to do this where, you know, the resources that are provided to you are really helping you as an entrepreneur grow and scale your business and not just get through cut and sew and they're not checking and they don't really care. And so that was really why I started Fabric. And, you know, I partnered with Angela and we created this so that the difficulty of manufacturing clothes could become a lot easier and more successful.
Sherry Berry, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'd like to introduce our next designer, who is Bria Ale Bleu. I felt like the video of yours did a really good job explaining maybe a little bit of the inspiration in your collection, but tell us a little bit more.
You know, I had a hard time articulating what I was inspired by. I've just been feeling really romantic for the past couple years, and I wanted to express that through free-flowing clothing that makes you feel beautiful, feel like you're in a garden, feel like you're just free. That's my
You
inspiration.
definitely did that. Thank you so much. Bria Ale Bleu.
Bria is Fabric's technical designer too, so she's helping hundreds of brands create their patterns, make their tech packs, do those digital avatars that you saw and everything. This woman is really creative. We need to give her another round of applause. Thank you, ladies.
So stunning, right? I mean, you can really see her inspiration in all of those pieces. Incredible. Our last designer I want to introduce you to is Amelia Walsh.
Really, when we go back then to falling in love and say it's crazy, falling. You see, we don't say rising into love. There is in it the idea of the fall. And it goes back, as a matter of fact, to extremely fundamental things. That there is always a curious tie at some point between the fall and the creation. Taking this ghastly risk is the condition of there being life. You see, for all, life is an act of faith and an act of gamble. Actually, therefore, the course of wisdom, what is really sensible, is to let go, is to commit oneself, to give oneself up, and that's quite mad. So we come to the strange conclusion that in madness lies sanity.
Amelia Walsh.
Thank you.
Amelia, tell me a little bit about your start here and your start of your fashion brand.
Wow, it's actually happened. Like, I've been in fashion now for 20 years, and Angela's been a huge part of my whole fashion career. I met her when I was in school, and just to know that, like, of where our careers have come to part again. I'm the creative director of Fabric, and so I take care of a lot of the visuals for everyone, for our clients and for ourselves, online and in print. And when I got the opportunity to play with our printer, I just wasn't going to pass that up.
Well, absolutely beautiful pieces. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Amelia does all of our graphic design. She does all of our social media. She is so talented and so creative as the creative director here. Let's give her another round of applause.
I mean, you're seeing it firsthand, right? The ingenious way that they utilize technology to make these beautiful pieces and put the art really back into fashion. So that's what you're seeing here. Let's get all of our models back out here. Oh, do we have something to show?
You're right.
Okay, sorry. Let's get all of our models back out on the runway, one last look. And one more technology surprise I want to tell you about as well.
Come on out, models.
Better consumers of these ethically made fashion, and policy begins to drive transparency. Also, technology will play an important role in the disruption and the redesign of the apparel manufacturing process. So we also want to tell you about, that's where we welcome in digital product passports. So that'll provide traceability, also transparency. Fabric brands are ahead of the curve here. We can tell you they have access to the latest in this technology as well. So items made at Fabric, they're embedded, or can be embedded, that is, with the Rain F411 chip. Rainfall is what it's called. Is that for a typo?
It's part of the
That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right. So the 411, you know, it's the information. So, but it is referred to apparently as the rainfall chip. So one tap of your smartphone basically reveals the story behind the brand and the making of the product. So limited edition pieces can then be authenticated as well. And this is a way that consumers can even add their own, add to their timeline of that product itself by uploading photos basically of where these garments have been worn. So what this means is those overproduced disposable plastic clothing, it's no longer overwhelming landfills and instead is replaced by ethically made, cherished heirlooms.
So take a look at the screen. When you tap your phone onto the chip, you get a history, a timeline. This is the skirt I'm wearing right now, and this is all the information about it. The size, the color, what it's made out of, and how this garment was made. This is digital product passport to show you the ethic way that this garment was made. And you can do that right now. You can tap your phone against any of these garments and you can see exactly who made it, where it was made, and how it's made. So take a moment to do that right now. The models in front of you are ready for you to tap your phone against them. This rainfall chip is the future. Digital product passports are going to become the norm as the world wants to know how their clothing is made. Got to make sure your NFC chip is enabled.
Is it anywhere on the garment, or is it?
No, there's an actual. The first area shows you the details about the garment, and then if you start at the bottom of the scroll, that's the oldest input. It tells you the very first thing that that designer entered about it, and then the newest information is at the top. So as you scroll up, it's the latest information. And then if you are the owner of the garment, you can add to that list. So imagine you buy a garment that has this in it. You can see who made it, how it was made, and then when you buy it, you can add to that timeline. You can put, hey, I wore this at this fashion show, or I wore it to go to Paris, or whatever, and you're adding to that timeline. So you're creating a scrapbook of exactly what this garment has been through. That's something that you can cherish, you can pass down to somebody. This is what creates value in your pieces. No longer do we have disposable fashion, but we have pieces of art that you cherish and that you can tell the story, you know exactly how it's made. So Rainfall is a technology that all of our entrepreneurs have access to add to their designs. Isn't that incredible?
And one more big round of applause for our designers, Sherry Berry, Bria Blunt, and Amelia Walsh. Also, let's give it up for our hair and makeup artists, Diana Angelis, Lolita Schultz, and Lisa Marie McNamara. So what you're looking at here, this is fashion's sustainable future. Domestic, batched, on-demand, phygital fashion. It is faster, ethical, cheaper for the brands, and diverts those unsustainable textiles from the world's landfills. And this means with no excess inventory, brands of any size can say hello to a more sustainable, more responsible, more efficient, and more affordable future. Thank you.
Fabric's vision to use technology to innovate a sustainable industry solution and to provide a better tomorrow has been a Herculean effort, you guys. There is no place like Fabric anywhere else that a brand can come, a brand of any size can come to access this end-to-end technology that you've witnessed tonight. Most nonprofits, about 60% of their revenue comes from donations. Fabric's revenue, only 5% comes from donations. Honestly, fundraising is really not our core competency. Let me tell you that. It's hard. It takes a whole other job. It takes a whole other person to actually do that. We weren't trained to do that, but that's what we have to do. But it's hard, it's challenging. So we've always found creative income generators to fuel this amazing nonprofit that's doing so much for so many. You heard, we've helped 1,650 apparel entrepreneurs. We've given almost $13 million worth of free and discounted programs and services to make their journey more affordable so that brands can create unique artwork like this and that it can be more valuable and we can get rid of disposable fashion. Sherry, who has leveraged her own finances to keep this nonprofit going, and our team is extremely lean, and each person wears multiple hats. We have a handful of people that service thousands of apparel entrepreneurs. Again, there's 1,650 people in our roadmap. There's like 11 people on our team. That doesn't include there's sewers and there's cutters and things. It's me. I'm the one person that is the person that has to guide them. I'm the consultant. Amelia's the one person that does all the creative, artwork and things. Bria and a couple other technical designers that's about it. That's a very lean team to serve all of these people. Yet, we've been able to make some amazing strides in leading the way for the rest of the industry to follow. In fact, just this week, we had some of the biggest supply chain people in the industry come together here in this room to discuss how to create a circular model for the fashion industry. You guys, they came here. Some of the biggest people in the industry. The poster on the wall, against the wall right there, is an eco park that they want to create in the United States. And they came here to talk about this circular model. We were blown away that we got the attention of the industry and that they came here to discuss how to make fashion better. While we achieve seemingly insurmountable goals, we simultaneously have faced some of the biggest obstacles imaginable. These challenges started during COVID. At that time, we were renting out our event space as our main income generator. That's how we fuel this. We rent out an event space. People rent it for weddings and proms and fashion shows and things like this, and we were pretty self-sufficient. That income helped us be able to do all the cool stuff that we're doing and to be able to provide all that give back to the community. But when COVID hit, we had to pivot. We turned our event space into a PPE factory, and we stepped up to manufacture 800,000 reusable medical gowns, which could be washed 100 times. It kept 80 million disposable gowns from going into the landfill while protecting thousands of healthcare heroes. This was, thank you. This was so rewarding, but this was so hard. And it was also the beginning of the financial challenges that we face today. Our passion and our personal financial investments and our literal blood, sweat, and tears is what keeps Fabric going. This is not sustainable this way forever. Fabric needs you guys. It needs our community to contribute so that we can continue to fulfill our mission and to move towards our vision. You saw our vision. We want to change the world. Look at the cool stuff that we're doing. We can move the industry back here. We can make it better. We can reshore. We can use technology. We can be on the forefront of everybody else. The industry is slow to change. Those big brands, they are stuck in their old ways. They are having a hard time pivoting. We can help apparel entrepreneurs start sustainable brands right here in Arizona and create a new industry here. So if you purchased a ticket tonight, thank you. If you didn't and you would like to make a contribution, you can actually scan QR codes all over this building to do that now. In fact, right here on the front of the banner, that's the drape on the, oh, it's gone, but all over the room there's QR codes that you can donate. So even if you can't donate, if you know a corporation that would want to align with us, we're seeking a partner right now. Imagine Fabric presented by fill in the blank, whatever corporation that is, that wants to align themselves with people who are doing such amazing things that are changing the world. So please send them our way. And thank you all so much for coming to Canvas. Please keep coming to these things. Every time you purchase tickets to these events or support us or support our entrepreneurs, that keeps us going. That right there is just fuel to see your faces at all of these things. It's a lot of work to put these together, so we really appreciate that you have been here tonight. Thank you for spending time with us tonight. We hope you enjoyed witnessing the future of fashion in the world's only digital fashion innovation center. Thank you.